We must be resolved to confront the challenges we face today, and we must be eager to embrace what may come tomorrow.
Right now, Governor Tony Evers lays out his vision for Wisconsin in the annual State of the State address.
And new details tonight as detectives continue to look for leads in the town of Blue Mounds homicide case.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
First tonight, we're following a couple of breaking stories. There's an active manhunt in Seattle after multiple people were shot in the downtown area. Within the last hour, the police chief says one person has been killed, 7 others taken to a hospital with gunshot wounds. It happened about 3 blocks from the famous Pike Place Fish Market. Police have not immediately released a description of the suspect.
Also tonight, a statewide silver alert has been issued for a man who has not been seen since yesterday. 66-year-old John Abel was last seen driving a 2006 silver Volvo CX-70, driving from his home in Waukesha to visit his brother in Wausau. He is described as 5'8", about 250 pounds, and has a large scar under his skin. His car is missing a rear bumper with license plate of 173ZEK. Next at 10, we are keeping an eye out from some light snow overnight tomorrow and on Friday.
Now, we're not expecting anything too heavy at this point, but when it's all said and done, we could get a few more inches of snow. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with our first alert forecast.
Eric, this is one of those nights, where you look at the radar and it looks like it's snowing all over the place, but not all that snow is reaching the ground. As we take a look at Doppler tracking, you can see a pretty widespread area of snow moving through the central Midwest, and here in southern Wisconsin, the snow is more likely reaching the ground west of Madison than it is east of town. In fact, you take a look at visibilities right now, 6-mile visibility in Madison, already down to 3/4 of a mile with light snow in Lone Rock. But east of Madison, very little of that snow is reaching the ground. That's because relative humidities are still in the 75% range there. Farther to the west, the atmosphere is more moist, the snow reaching the ground. Also some fog forming, and temperatures right now are right around where they've been all day, upper 20s to around 30 degrees. So by tomorrow morning, look for some light snow, temperatures in the upper 20s. Probably see an inch or 2 of snow overnight, and then some off and on snow through the day tomorrow with a high of 34. More snow is in the forecast for Friday into early Saturday. I'll tell you how much we can expect in a few minutes.
The City of Madison Streets Division will be working around the clock during the upcoming snow. Starting tonight, they say 32 plow trucks will be out salting and plowing. They will have 2 additional trucks to spread sand on hills and intersections. And you can stay up to date with the free News 3 Now weather app. It features hour-by-hour forecasts put together by our local weather team, as well as interactive radars. Governor Evers has wrapped up his second State of the State address.
Amy Reed was at the Capitol as the governor addressed lawmakers, reflecting on the last year. And Amy, he also introduced some new task forces and commissions tonight.
That's right. He's laid out a very full agenda for a group of people who are hoping to wrap things up quickly to get back to their districts to campaign in November. And Republicans, who earlier this afternoon were calling for bipartisanship, are mixed on how they feel about these issues.
People of Wisconsin, welcome and thank you for being here tonight.
Governor Tony Evers boasted many wins for his first year in office, but next year he wants to do more.
We have not forgotten those who have shared the harvest and bounty, feeding our families, our communities, and our state and our country for more than a century. And tonight we say that we are ready to be a partner in the promise of posterity.
He announced tonight a 3-part plan, including calling the legislature to a special session next week to take up a package of bills on dairies and farms. After Republicans were criticized for slow action on funding for farmer mental health last year, tonight Evers called for a new program to get farmers access to those services. His plan also creates an Office of Rural Prosperity to help revitalize rural parts of the state. Republicans say it's too early to say if they support these moves, but they'll hear it.
We're all looking for ways to do better when it comes to ag, and there's been a number of proposals by the legislature, but I'm all ears on what the governor has to offer.
A call Republican leaders said was unconstitutional was an announcement of an executive order that will create a citizen-filled, nonpartisan redistricting commission. Evers said the vast majority of Wisconsinites want medical marijuana and gun control legislation, and implied new maps could get them there.
The people who work in this building, who sit in these seats, and who drive the policies in our state should not be able to ignore the people who sent us here. The will of the people is the law of the land, and by golly, people should not take no for an answer.
The Constitution requires the legislature to actually have a process. We will do that when the time is right. But what Governor Evers, again, is trying to figure out a way to draw divisions in our state rather than bring people together by actually sitting at the table and working together.
Legally, as long as the legislature approves these maps, the commission could work. But that, along with these other things that the governor wants to get through, have to go through a Republican-controlled legislature. Now, Evers ended tonight with a message of working together. The first test of that comes next week with that special session on farming bills.
A story we will follow closely. Amy Reed live at the state capitol tonight. Amy, thank you.
New tonight, UW System President Ray Cross says regions are planning to ask legislators to increase tuition in the next state budget. Today, Cross told the state Senate's Universities Committee that the region's biennial budget request will include an increase, roughly in keeping with inflation. Tuition has been frozen at the system's four-year school since 2013.
House impeachment managers wrapped up for the night after the first day of opening arguments in the Senate impeachment trial of President Donald Trump. Each side gets up to 24 hours to initially present their case. Today, the managers spent hours laying out the details of their investigation that started months ago. Lead manager Adam Schiff began building the House's case of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress.
President Trump withheld hundreds of millions of dollars in military aid to a strategic partner at war with Russia to secure foreign help with his reelection. In other words, to cheat.
I think we're going to see an awful lot of repetition, making the same points over and over again.
Late tonight, the president returned to Washington from the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, where he repeated he had done nothing wrong. The president's defense team could begin presenting its case as early as Saturday. Members of the Wisconsin Restaurant Association are pushing for changes to maximize local business exposure during the Democratic National Convention this coming summer. One of their top priorities is passing a bill to extend bar hours until 4 a.m. Although Madison isn't hosting delegates during the DNC, the Restaurant Association says there will be corporate and special interest group events happening here.
The Dane County Sheriff's Office is releasing new information in the homicide of a local veteran. It has now been 1 week since Nicholas Day was found dead along a rural road in the town of Blue Mounds. Detectives have been asking for help from the public, but today they want to speak with specific people. They want to talk with the owners of 3 vehicles that were seen in the area, a small silver 2-door vehicle and a red vehicle, both seen on JG near Stewart County Park, and a full-size dark-colored pickup truck near Burgum Road. Sheriff's officials are also looking for help in identifying 2 other men seen running in the area. One is described as having a full beard and wearing a brown jacket with red striping. The other is described as a white man wearing a white or off-white jogging suit.
Our detectives and deputies have been doing a lot of canvassing in the area, just going door to door basically and talking to people and trying to find out if they saw anything, if they heard anything. We're looking for people that might have had video, whether it was video surveillance on their house or business, or maybe, you know, even there's people that drive around with dash cams now.
The Dane County Sheriff's Department has yet to name the exact cause of Day's death publicly. When asked why, they say that information could compromise the investigation.
State Department of Justice investigating a deadly officer-involved shooting today in northeastern Wisconsin. The suspect was reportedly wanted on numerous drug charges, had a warrant for his arrest. The Winnebago County SWAT team was called to the home in Oshkosh shortly after they arrived. Shots were fired. They say the suspect was armed. 4 officers have now been placed on administrative leave, which is standard in these cases. An Illinois man now charged with hit and run in connection with the crash last week in Wisconsin. Happened on Friday in Union Grove, just outside Racine. Today, we learned the suspect, 43-year-old James McKnight, is the dean of students at a high school in Zion, Illinois. Turned himself into police yesterday. The man who he is accused of hitting is expected to survive.
4 people were killed when a small plane crashed just outside a Southern California airfield today. This is at the Corona Municipal Airport, about 40 miles east of Los Angeles. The airport has been closed to flights since the crash. The airport website says it is strictly for recreational aviation and has several hundred general aviation aircraft based there. Utah is now the 19th state in America to outlaw conversion therapy for minors. This ban issued by Republican Governor Gary Herbert comes a year after an effort to end the practice in the conservative state stalled in the legislature. Conversion therapy is an attempt to forcibly change someone's sexual orientation or gender identity. The practice is still legal in Wisconsin, although some cities have banned it.
The CDC says it is testing several more people in the United States for coronavirus, but so far only one has been confirmed. Yesterday, the organization announced the first case. That was in the state of Washington. The CDC says it's been receiving specimens for testing from several other people in the U.S. The death toll, by the way, from the virus has now risen to 17, and it has sickened more than 500 others. Today, the Chinese city of Wuhan, where the virus was first identified, said it would temporarily close its airport and railway stations for departing passengers. All public transport services will also be suspended as authorities attempt to contain the virus. We're getting the first look at the newly renovated Mercy Health Hospital and Trauma Center in Janesville. The year-long renovation upgraded the operating room, radiology department, and nuclear medicine suite at the cost of $15.3 million. Doctors at Mercy Health have also seen an increase in demand for plastic surgery and skin care, so they build a new center for those needs as well.
Wisconsin wildlife officials are looking at some potential changes to the state's deer hunting season in an effort to rekindle interest. Today, the DNR board approved 6 questions for the Wisconsin Conservation Congress's April hearings. Some of the questions include potentially extending the 9-day gun season to 19 days, eliminate management zones, and limiting the crossbow season. The DNR board today also approved authorization to start drafting new water quality standards for a range of pollutants. They want to create groundwater standards for 16 currently unregulated substances and create limits on chemicals that make up PFAS. The DNR anticipates spending several years on the rules. Still ahead tonight, your updated forecast as we keep an eye on several chances for more snow.
And why you may no longer be able to bring your emotional support animal with you on your next flight. We'll have that story coming up. Stay with us.
The organization behind the ice castles in Lake Geneva say they are flying in more people to help with construction from around the country in order to open by the end of the month or early February. The warmer winter has made building the ice structures a challenge. And a reminder for anyone wanting to go this year, they have moved from the lakefront to the Geneva National Resort and Club. A new proposal by the U.S. Department of Transportation would no longer require airlines to accept emotional support animals. Instead, airlines would only be required to accept service animals who undergo specific training to help its owner. As for emotional support animals, it will be up to the airline as to whether or not to allow them. Complaints from flight attendants and other passengers about the behavior of such animals on board prompted the department to review the policy.
You can't bring a turkey on a plane anymore?
No,
Okay.
no turkeys.
I was wondering about that. All right, there's a push to bring a new children's museum to Sun Prairie. The plan is to have free traveling exhibits at libraries and community centers around the area this fall, while the board raises more money and awareness for a permanent location. That could be a new building or perhaps an existing space. But those leading the charge hope to open it next year. As a mother of 5 and a former teacher, Kelly Nelson says the play-based learning this museum will focus on is a passion.
I feel that this would be an amazing gift to all kids, that they could come in with an advantage, with some strong skills, so that when they come to the classroom, they can truly embrace their education and their learning and be able to build upon it and give more of a level playing field.
And if you're interested in learning more about the project or want to vote on exhibit ideas, you can visit explorecm.org. We also have a link at channel3000.com. Florida, so cold right now, the animals used to the mild weather, well, they're huddling up or stopping dead in their tracks. From the air, you can see here, these are manatees grouping together. This is some warm water near Apollo Beach. That's just south of Tampa. There are reports of freezing iguanas falling out of trees. So these iguanas, they sleep in the trees. They're cold-blooded, and they simply go dormant in those colder conditions, but they do just fall out. He's alive, but they do just fall out of those trees. So if you thought Florida was a good escape right now, it's still a good escape.
It probably still is.
But Gary's here with a look at maybe some snow falling.
Yeah, let's just take a look at and see what the temperatures are across the country. Florida was actually pretty cold today. These are high temperatures. They were in the 50s to low 60s. Last night, temperatures were in the 30s. So while our temperatures are actually above normal, quite a bit below normal for Florida. Out west, temperatures also rather cool, but temperatures in Florida warm back up into the 70s, and that's because the jet stream winds are going to start coming back in off the Gulf of Mexico and warm things up. For us, we've got some snow moving in, mainly light snow, but it'll be a prolonged weather system as this weather system just kind of sits over the central part of the country. And you can see the light snow extending back into parts of Missouri and western Illinois, lifting northeastward. Across southern Wisconsin, much of this snow is reaching the ground west of Madison. East of Madison, a lot of that snow is still aloft because the air is a little bit drier, but eventually everybody will see the snow. 3 things you need to know in the forecast: that snow will move in, the fog could also come in, reduce visibilities a bit, and then that snow will actually continue into early Saturday morning. As far as the weather impacts, the biggest one will probably be to driving between the fog and also slippery road conditions. With temperatures right around freezing, you get that slushy snow accumulation, and that could make for some slippery travel. But not looking for much in the way of accumulating ice or freezing rain, so walking shouldn't be too much of a problem. And clearing the snow, as long as you do it a couple of times, an inch or so at a time, that will probably be enough. We still have alert days in the forecast for tonight into tomorrow and Friday for that light snow. 1 round tonight, 1 to 2 inches, maybe another inch or so tomorrow night, and maybe an inch or 2 from Friday night into Saturday morning. So when all is said and done, we could be looking at several inches of snow. This is through early tomorrow morning. You can see the additional snow. This is through Friday morning. That brings us up to about 2.5 inches, and then you add in Friday night into Saturday morning, and you could be looking at somewhere between maybe 2 and 5 or 6 inches of snow, especially closer toward Lake Michigan, where there could be some lake effect snow Friday night into Saturday. But for the most part, spread out over a 3-day period, it should not be too big of a deal. Visibilities are dropping, especially to our west, where the air is moistening up between the falling snow and the fog. There are dense fog advisories through much of Minnesota and western Iowa, and as the fog thickens up, we'll have to watch out for fog here. The almanac for today shows a high of 31, the low 21, but temperatures have been stuck around 30 all day. In fact, right now we're at 31 with light snow falling at the airport. Winds out of the south right now at 9 miles per hour. Temperatures over the next 10 days above normal every single day, and the 8 to 14 day temperature temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center calling for about a 60% chance of above normal temperatures and above normal precipitation through early February. But the monthly outlook for the month of February calling for below normal temperatures centered over Madison and below normal precipitation just to our south. So we'll have to see if that comes to fruition. Forecast overnight, mostly cloudy with light snow, some areas of fog, low temperature at 29, about an inch or two likely by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, some light off and on snow, high temperature at 34. There'll be some areas of fog as well. Future track, light snow tonight, temperatures moving very little. Tomorrow they get up into the middle 30s. Tomorrow night we'll see some more snow, low temperature around 30, and then Friday some light snow, maybe mixed with rain south of Madison where temperatures will be in the mid 30s. Again, the first round bringing about an inch, second round bringing about another inch through Friday morning, and then another inch or two from Friday night into Saturday morning. 7 to 10 day forecast, temperatures staying above normal, highs in the mid to upper 30s for next week. Maybe another weather system bringing us some snow chances Wednesday and Thursday, but at least it'll be comfortable, if nothing else.
It's a good thing. Comfortable is good.
You're right.
Thank you.
Sure.
Coming up, Green Bay head coach Matt LaFleur reflecting on what he learned in year number 1 as head coach of the Green and Gold. Sports is next.
Super Bowl 54 is going to have some girl power when the 49ers offense hits the field. Katie Sowers has been an offensive assistant with them since 2017. She'll be the first female and first openly gay coach to walk the sidelines in a Super Bowl. Now, there's a Microsoft commercial that showcases Sowers and some of her players. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo says she has the goods when it comes to delivering the X's and O's.
She's been tremendous. I mean, Katie was here before I was, but just what she does with the receivers, all the skill position guys, how she interacts with them, it's special. And you know, she's feisty, man. Katie's awesome out there. She'll get after the guys. I mean, it's fun to be around.
The Packers season didn't end the way they wanted it to, but it was close to best case scenario for a rookie head coach in a place that expects to win championships. Matt LaFleur led Green Bay to 14 wins in his rookie season. He's been consistent all season with his attention focused on what's next. Today, LaFleur was asked what he learned about himself during this past season. He said a lot, and a lot had to do with the people he surrounded himself with in the coach's room.
I learned that I know I don't have all the answers, and you better lean on your assistants. And I feel fortunate that we had such a great group of guys. I felt like as a staff, as everybody was going in the right direction, one common goal, and that was to win. I didn't feel like there was any agendas or egos.
23 assists and a school record 18 three-pointers made. That fits the definition of being on time and on target. Wisconsin head coach Greg Gard said good shooting teams are usually good passing teams, and they did both during their 14-point win over Nebraska. 8 different Badgers hit at least one triple. They channeled assistant coach Howard Moore's philosophy, and the Badgers moved to 5-3 in conference play, 9-1 at home.
Ball didn't stick. We didn't over-dribble. It went side, top side, back 2 or 3 times. And you have to move it like that against how they play defensively and play inside out. You know, we've been saying on time, on target. That's a Coach Moore phrase that he brought when he came back. And for the most part, we put the ball on time and on target. And when you move the ball like that and put it on target, you're going to shoot it well.
The Wisconsin women need some wins. How about one border battle style against Minnesota? Third quarter, Imani Lewis. Second time's a charm. She gets 2 and puts Wisconsin up by 8. Fourth quarter, it's Lewis again. Getting into the lane and getting the shooter's roll. 23 points, 16 rebounds, and then shout out Monroe Cheesemakers, because Sydney Hilly is going to end it. Badgers win 72-62, the final. Well, this one's shaping up to be the most expensive Super Bowl in history based on average ticket prices. If you want to see the Chiefs 49ers in Miami, Hard Rock Stadium, it's going to be almost $9 grand on average. We're still a week and a half away, so expect these prices to go up. Gary Canalti will take 4, 50-yard line, 15 rows up. We're back after this.
Finally tonight, the Powerball jackpot continues to quietly climb. Not so quietly, actually. Now worth more than $340 million.
It hasn't been this high in more than 6 months. So here are tonight's winning numbers: 11, 33, 44, 59, 67. And your Powerball is 8. We forgot to buy the ticket, didn't we?
Yeah, we forgot. We were gonna.
Smooth move.
Well, here we
Again,
are.
the jackpot is at $343 million with an estimated cash payout of a measly $233 million.
You can live on that. Live on that.
I think I was off on all 6 numbers. You win a prize for that.
You didn't buy any, did you?
Well, some snow out there tonight. It's starting to reach the ground, especially from Madison westward. You can see visibility is dropping down to 3/4 of a mile in Lone Rock, so it's coming down at a pretty good clip there. Temperatures are in the upper 20s to the low 30s, so roads will get slippery. Alert days in the forecast for snow for tomorrow and Friday. Snow should end Saturday morning, and then mild weather through next week.
We hope you won the Powerball. You can go someplace warm with that money. Thanks for joining us.
Do something good. We'll see you back here tomorrow.